Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring the Outworld Queen Ravenous Mileena. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Ravenous Mileena to the test. Ravenous Mileena guys was released on the 7th of September 2016, and by the way she was one of the first 3 characters to spearhead the invasion of diamonds into the game. Yes, that is correct, she was together with Hellspawn Scorpion Classic Raiden, the first ever released diamond in the game. So let's check out how she stood the test of time. Her attack is 70,639, which is, attention, the highest in MK Mobile after all these years. The hit points, they are 109,075, which ranks 19th in MK Mobile. The toughness is 53,563, which is the 5th highest in the game, and the recovery is 41,769, which ranks 21st, which is quite low, but we don't really care about recovery at all. And the power generation is pretty good as well, it is 130%. So for her stats, Ravenous Mileena is going to get 24.7 out of 28 possible points. Special 1 of Mileena guys is called Cartwheel Stomp. And by the way, you're not going to be using it quite often. I mean, it is not really terrible, but considering her special 2, her special 1 kind of is really underwhelming. Anyways, let's get into details. It is completely blockable. It has Curses debuff, which is not really the best debuff in the game. It can be cast from distance even though the first mini hit will miss, but it is not a big deal at all. It is lethal, it consists of 6 mini attacks, and it has the multi-tap circle as mini game. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 23,310, which ranks 2nd in the game, and the maximum damage is 46,621, which again is the 2nd highest in MK Mobile, quite impressive. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has Curse as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 6 mini attacks, and it has the multi-tap circle as mini game. So for her special 1, Ravenous Mileena is going to get 8 out of 13 possible points. Okay guys, we got to special 2 of Ravenous Mileena, which is the bread and butter of this character. It is really amazing. Now, there is something really strange about this ability and I want to talk about it. And by the way, it's concerning the never-endless issue with Warner Brothers never releasing statements if they have nerfed or buffed a character. And it is really annoying, because ever since Ravenous Mileena was released up until December 2019, the second part of her special 2, the part following the second minigame of her special 2, was unblockable. But suddenly, in late November, early December, up until now, this is no longer the case. And nobody actually explained if this is a bug or not. By the way, I contacted Warner Brothers support in January, claiming that there was an issue with her special 2. They said something like this: okay, we are sorry for this inconvenience, we're going to deliver this to the developer team. And nothing happened. 2 updates since then, nothing happened. Then I went on Facebook, checked with the support directly there and asked, okay, this is my ticket number, what happened? And they said, we can confirm that this one has been delivered and received by our developer team, but we have no updates. So it's like 6 months and I don't even have an update whether this is a bug or whether this is a nerf. But I mean, for this particular review I'm going to stick with the current situation, and it is that special 2 of Ravenous Mileena currently is completely blockable, unfortunately. It has regeneration as buff, which is one of the best buffs in the game. It can be cast from distance even though the first part of the special attack will miss, but it is not a big deal because the majority of the damage is dealt after Mileena teleports to her victim. The ability is lethal, it consists of 8 mini attacks, and it has 2 mini games. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of this special attack is 62,939, which is once again the highest in MK Mobile, and the maximum damage is 121,216, which is again the highest in the game, and this tells something. Seriously, this special attack is incredibly powerful, and considering that it has regeneration, I mean, it is simply perfect. Once again, the ability can be completely blocked by the opponent for now, it has regeneration as buff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 8 mini attacks, and it has 2 mini games. So for her special 2, Ravenous Mileena is going to get 14.7 out of 19 possible points. Okay guys, it is time now to talk about Mileena's X-Ray, and by the way, there is nothing special about it. There's 2 things that you have to know when it comes to Ravenous Mileena's third special ability, and it is first that it has bleed as debuff, and second, it can be cast from distance. So basically this is it. When it comes to the way it looks like any other Mileena's X-Ray in MK Mobile for now. When it comes to damage, the damage of the X-Ray is 142,196, which is again the highest in MK Mobile. Mileena keeps doing that, guys. She is by far the character with the highest damage, at least when it comes to the damage written on the card. She is totally unreachable there. Once again, the special attack has bleed as debuff, and it can be cast from distance. So for her X-Ray, she's going to get 3.7 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points she gets for her special attacks adds up to 26.4 out of 36 possible. Okay guys, I know this is not the gameplay section, but I feel obliged to tell you that you shouldn't be using Mileena as a fighter. Even though her basic attacks are not really terrible, she has pretty decent basic attacks, but she is not designed to be a fighter. You shouldn't be playing her as a fighter. All you have to do with Mileena is keep tagging her in and out throughout the entire length of the battle. She is not designed to stand and fight, so please don't do that. Now, when it comes to her basic attacks, I'm telling you not to use her as a fighter, because her basic attacks are kind of okay, and if given block breakers she can be a decent fighter, but still she is losing value if played like this. Seriously, she is. There are way better fighters out there than Ravenous Mileena. And when it comes to her basic in specific, they're kind of fast. They don't have the best chaining, because if the opponent is blocking she doesn't push him away, but she has pretty good recovery speed. Not the best, but still decent. So in the end of the day I decided to give her 7.5 out of 10 possible points for her basics. But once again, you should be using her as a fighter, or in other words, you should be spamming her basics only if there is no other option on the field. Because once again, she is an assassin, she is not a fighter. The passive of Mileena, guys, is called Savage Row, and here it is what it does. I quote: "A Tarkatan warrior attacks before Mileena tags in, causing bleed with a 100% chance to stun. Also, everyone on her team deals 100% more damage on all fire, poison, bleeds, damage over time effects." Now, without any doubt, this is one of the best, absolutely the best passives in the game. Not because you get guaranteed stun on tag in, but mostly because the second part of her passive, the 100% more damage on all fire, poison, bleed, damage over time effects. Basically, this opens the door for so many different teams, guys. In other words, Mileena can be basically teamed with so many characters. They shouldn't be Outworld. She can be teamed with any character as long as the other character has bleed, fire, poison, and the other character can spam them all the time. Now, I just have one issue with her passive. It is not actually an issue, but it is related to the recent changes in MK Mobile. When Mileena was introduced in MK Mobile, she was a complete beast. There was nobody to stop her, because at that time there were like 2 or 3 items that were giving stun resistance. But now the picture has changed, guys. We have so many items and characters that give stun resistance, and the first part of her passive is kind of a little bit obsolete. At least it doesn't feel as strong as it used to be in the past. Because when, for example, Jade was released, Ravenous Mileena was the bane of Jade. I mean, Jade couldn't do anything. Now, When Jade, for example, is diamond, she can equip a lot of items for stun resistance, and if Jade resists the stun of Mileena, Mileena is in a lot of trouble, guys. I'm just giving you this as an example to see what I'm talking about when I say that the first part of her passive kind of faded over the years. However, the second part of her passive is better than ever. Now, if you place this girl in a team with characters such as Classic Reptile, MK11 Scorpion, especially MK11 Scorpion, guys, Mileena and MK11 Scorpion in the team is the embodiment of a damage over time team. What you have to do is just select any opener, it doesn't matter, and immediately after the game starts, tag in Scorpion, and almost all members of the enemy team will be dead by the time the second one tags in. It doesn't matter really. This team is incredibly powerful. Of course, you're going to meet some annoying MK11 teams with Jade and they will be countering you, but in general, Ravenous Mileena works so well with so many teams, and I really value that. As I mentioned before, when I'm talking about passives, I am not looking at passives that are great, extremely good in 1 or 2 teams. I'm looking to find passives that are great in huge variety of teams, and this is the case with the passive of Ravenous Mileena. So, like I used to do in the past, guys, I really believe that this passive is slightly better than most of the great passives in MK Mobile. That is why I'm going to reward you to 1 extra point, and at the end of the day, Mileena is going to get 21 points for her passive. She is just an outward character, so she gets 1 point for classes and 2 points for tagging attack. Okay guys, we got to the final verdict. Here is the moment to decide whether Mileena is a good character or whether Mileena is a trash character. Now obviously the latter cannot be true, guys, because Ravenous Mileena has pretty nice stats. Pretty good special attacks, with her special 2 being absolutely incredible. She also has amazing passive, very versatile. You can basically put her in almost any team and she will be great. And of course, I shouldn't be forgetting that even though she's not a fighter, she has some decent basic attacks. Basically, her only weakness is that sometimes she feels like a glass cannon, but if played properly, you'll be fine. Now, remember the review of Classic Liu Kang, guys? I was criticized that I was giving way too many points, and the truth is, I gave way too many points. But the only reason why I did that is not because I really like Liu Kang. As I mentioned before, I don't really like Liu Kang as a character in Mortal Kombat storyline. I don't like this character. But I truly believe that Classic Liu Kang is the best character in the game. Now, Ravenous Mileena is definitely top 10. But because this is the place and time to review how many points I'm going to give her, I'm going to be honest, Ravenous Mileena together with a few more characters is my favorite character in MK Mobile, and Mileena in general is my favorite character in Mortal Kombat. So I'm not going to give her 3 points, I'm not going to give her 5 points as I did with Classic Liu Kang because I believe he is the best character in the game. I'll give her 4 points, so she receives 1 more extra point for me for being my absolute favorite character in Mortal Kombat and one of my absolute favorite characters in Mortal Kombat Mobile. In fact, the only thing which I desire in MK Mobile for a new character, I mean, I would love any new character, for example Shang Tsung or Sindel, but if I get 1 more Diamond Mileena in the game, I'll be pretty happy. After all, we have 2 Diamond Scarlets and just 1 Diamond Mileena. Why? I mean, Scarlet, she's cool, but Mileena is the real deal. Anyways, she's going to get 4 of my subjective points, and with them, Ravenous Mileena, guys, is going to score 85.5, and definitely we can label her as an amazing character. In fact, in our current standings, she ranks 5th, just above MK11 Scorpion and just below Injustice 2 Raiden. Final verdict on Mileena, guys, is an amazing character. She really deserves it. She's a very good assassin and pretty useful support if you have some other characters that do damage over time effects. Remember guys, Ravenous Mileena shouldn't be your opener, like never. You shouldn't be using Ravenous Mileena as your opener. She's really bad as an opener. Her special one sucks, so she doesn't have even good synergy with Devastator. In general, she's designed to be an assassin and not an opener. I mean, I don't even think of a team where she could be the best opener out of the three, so definitely do not use her as an opener. When it comes to her best matches, I would say that she excels against Relentless Jason, against Assassin Jade, in general against Assassin team, because, you know, if they're stunned, they cannot evade. And when it comes to her bad matches, guys, I would say that she doesn't perform really well against Combat Cup team, because if they have Sonya, they are going to be immune to stun, and she doesn't really perform well against MK11 Cabal. In fact, MK11 Cabal is probably her worst nightmare, especially if he's tagged out, because if he's tagged out, every time when Mileena tags in, she's not going to stun the enemy, but she's going to get stunned instead. And of course, a very difficult matchup is Classic Reptile, because every time when Mileena tags in, she's going to get poisoned, so she's not going to take advantage of the regeneration of her special too. Now, when it comes to the items of Ravenous Mileena, guys, it's really difficult to give you the best item set for her. Definitely she needs Rathammer. It really depends how you play with her, but Rathammer is a must anyways, and also the Cory Blade is pretty good, especially if it is maxed. If it is maxed, Cory Blade is one of the best items for Mileena, because there's a huge chance that she's going to execute her enemy, and she's going to get a shield in the process. Really good item for her. And the other two items are really up to you guys. It really depends on her team, really depends on what you have left, and really depends on whether she's going to be the main focus of the team or whether you use her as a support. And when it comes to the teams, guys, there are plenty of teams that you can build around Ravenous Mileena. I will start with the Holy Trinity team. That's Classic Lucain, Ravenous Mileena, and Classic Raiden. This team is close to unbeatable. Mileena tags in, she stuns the enemy is crippled. Raiden tags in, he steals power, the enemy is crippled. Classic Lucain tags in, the enemy is crippled. You have to keep tagging in and out, and there's nobody who can stop you. In addition, another very nice team, extremely good team with Mileena is Assassin Scarlet, MK11 Scorpion, and Mileena. If you don't have Assassin Scarlet, you can use Triborg Sector instead. This is a damage overtime team that works perfectly fine. All you have to do in the beginning of the game is use, of course, Blaze's Life Force and then tag in Scorpion immediately. So Scorpion shouldn't be your opener in this team. It should be either Scarlet or Sector, and of course Mileena shouldn't be your opener. And Mileena, guys, can shine in so many other teams. You're seeing some examples at the screen at the moment. Long story short, she's good in any team. Even if you're using her just for the first part of her passive, she stuns, she applies bleed, and then she totally destroys whoever she is facing. Okay guys, Ravenous Mileena, what do you think of her? Do you like her? Do you dislike her? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, she scored 85.5 and we labeled her as an amazing character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the list on the top right corner of the screen. And if you want to know which is the next on-demand review coming in next week, you can find the list in the description of this video. See you next time guys. Take care and stay safe.
Excellent. Perfect.